Alright, I don't know where the video cut me off last time, so I'm going to leave this up here. I blew all of them up by a factor of 2. I plotted them and I connected the dots. So you might see dilation on the test. Just be ready. Alright, now determine if you know the two triangles are congruent. If so, state how you know using one of those reasons. Alright, well, it looks like I have a pair of sides right here, and I have another pair of sides here that are congruent, and I have a pair of angles. This is old stuff from last unit, right? So this looks like this would be side, angle, side congruency. Alright, this one, oh, look at that, they're right triangles. Got a right angle right there, which means a right angle right there, my other little box. My hypotenuses are marked congruent to each other. And then I have a pair of legs that are marked congruent to each other. So my reason here would be HL. Alright, so side angle side and HL. This one, I have one pair of sides congruent, two pairs of sides congruent, three pairs. So my reason here would be side, side, side. Alright, on this one, sorry, I have a pair of angles right here that are not marked in, but they're never going to mark in vertical angles. You have to know to do that. Looks like I have a pair of, oh, this is tricky. This is only angles, so this is not congruent. Alright, right here I have a pair of angles that are congruent and another pair of angles and then a pair of sides. So this is angle, side, angle. Right here, another pair of angles right there. So angle, angle, side. Alright, a little bit more review. And there's always 180 degrees available on a straight line. So 4x plus 1 plus 63 equals 180. So that's 4x plus 64 is 180. We got to subtract that 64 from both sides. I think that's going to leave us with, what is that, 116? Let's break out the calculator. Yep, 116. Divide that by 4, and 116 divided by 4 gives us 29. So those are supplementary and adjacent, which makes them a linear pair. Okay, these angles right right here are vertical angles, and hopefully you remember back from like unit 1 that vertical angles are always congruent. So I can set 6x plus 4 equal to 76. Subtract 4 from both sides, so 6x equals 72. Divide both sides by 6. And we get 12. Alright, there you go. So these are vertical angles. Always congruent. Vertical angles are always congruent. Alright, next page. Alright, these angles are same side interior, which means they're supplementary. So that means they add up to 180. So 180 minus 119, I think is that 51? 61, there we go. 61 degrees. Now these angles are alternate interior, and they are congruent. So we'll say 16x minus 9 equals 135. Remember that chart that we did back for Unit 3? Add the 9 to both sides. You only have two choices pretty much in this entire chapter. Either the angles are supplementary to each other or they're congruent to each other. So that'll leave us with 144 and 144 divided by 16. Should get 9. There we go. Alright, next page. Do the three numbers make the sides of a triangle. Remember, the two smallest have to add up to more than the third. Okay, so my two smallest here are 9 and 8. 9 plus 8 is 17. And isn't 17 greater than the biggest side, which is 10? Yes, so this triangle works. Alright, over here, my two smallest sides are 12 and 8. 12 plus 8 is 20. Is 20 greater than 20? No, so this triangle does not work. Can't be equal. Equal doesn't work. So the two smallest sides have to add up to more than the third or the largest. Can't be equal, has to be greater than. Alright, we want the third side, range for the possible third side. So to keep that whole rule true about the two smallest adding up to more than the third, the largest, we have to subtract on the left, and we have to add on the right to make sure that we're keeping our third side within a range that'll make all three sides work nicely with each other. So we do 11 minus 7 less than x less than 11 plus 7. That's going to give us 4. And that's going to give us 18. And then right here, 9 minus 8. And 9 plus 8, so that's going to give us 1 and 17. Alright, so don't forget to study your logic stuff too. So you have the conditional, right? You have the converse, the inverse, and the contrapositive. And that's P to Q, Q to P, not P to not Q, and then not Q to not P. Remember all those? And then you have the laws. You have the law of detachment and the law of syllogism. Remember, law of detachment, that was the short one. Law of syllogism, that was the long one. Alright, hope this helped. See you guys soon.